First stop on our journey is Sector Y. At the beginning of the course, you're going to see a series of mechas come across your screen. The first two will come in from the right, and if you use a charged shot, it should take them down in one hit. A few moments later, the third one will appear from the top of your screen going directly down. It's really important to take care of all three of these mechas, because if you do, it spawns this fourth mecha, and if you take care of him, he'll reward you with a bomb.
Something's wrong. I don't see anything.
Surprise attack coming from above!
And at this point, I typically use 2 bombs, because I'm able to increase my total hit points by 40 when I do.
Defend the Allied fleet! Don't let any of them past us!
Good job! Keep up the pace!
At the halfway mark, you're hit with the decision of whether to go up or down, and I always tend to go down, and I don't really know why, but I just prefer to go down.
I've got everything above!
And as I approach the final stretch of this level, I realize that I'm only 10 hit points away from the medal, so I know it's totally doable at this point.
Break through! We'll find out who's coordinating this attack.
Is that the best you can do?
This level is also really unique because the boss fight is really broken down into 2 phases. Let's go. This might be high enough for my highest score. Plus 11, so 19 total. I should be at 200.
Activate all range mode.
Let's hope I don't lose a friggin' wing. So during phase 1 of the boss fight, you're going to face these 2 mini mechas, and they're each worth a hit plus 3. During phase 2 of the boss fight, you'll face a larger and faster mecha, and he's worth a hit plus 10. So the entire boss fight is actually worth 19 hit points. So if you go in with a score of 131, you can still get enough with the boss fight to get the medal.
Don't party just yet.
Alright.
It's time to try out new weapons. Cocky little freaks! Cocky little freaks!
And with the boss taken down and enough hit points to get the mission accomplished, we're able to go to Aquas.
Oh my god.
Let's go! New high score, man. 2 new high scores back to back. In order to go to Aquas, you have to score 100 hit points in Sector Y, otherwise you're going to be going to Katina instead. Now in my opinion, Aquas got the biggest upgrade in terms of visual appeal. Look how beautiful these graphics are. But I also think that Aquas got the biggest downgrade in terms of playability. And that's because they absolutely nerfed the Blue Marine. You see, on StarFox 64, the A button was the lasers and the B button was the bombs, or in this level, the torpedoes. And those buttons were placed side by side on the controller, so you could simultaneously mash the A and B button together and shoot lasers and torpedoes throughout the entire level. And this is really important for a number of reasons, but the most important is probably because of the visual aid that they provide. You see, as you progress through the level, the water becomes more and more murky and more difficult to see. Your allies even make a point to say, use your torpedoes to help you see, and they point out that you have an unlimited supply of them to use. But on the Switch 2 controller, the Y button is the torpedo button, so you can't mash both the A button and the Y button simultaneously throughout the level and have consistent lasers and torpedoes. This means you have to kind of choose whether you're shooting lasers or torpedoes at any given moment. They also completely nerfed the basic mechanics of the torpedoes themselves. You see, there is no charged shot in this level. Your charged shot comes from your torpedoes. You just automatically lock onto things that you can lock onto as you scroll your cursor over top of them. Now, this was a problem even back on the Nintendo 64 days. I mean, you would sometimes lock onto things like a pillar that can't even be destroyed, and you can't unlock from it until you passed by the object. But the upside of that was that if you locked onto an object after you shot a torpedo, the torpedo would change its trajectory and then fire towards the new locked on object. So this further increased the benefit of mashing the B button throughout the level and just shooting non-stop torpedoes, because you could just change the trajectory of a torpedo at any given moment. But Nintendo totally erased this mechanic, and now if you shoot a torpedo when you're not locked onto something, it's a waste of a torpedo. And so now, since you have to stop firing your blue lasers in order to shoot a torpedo, you have to be a lot more selective about when you actually fire a torpedo and make sure you're locked onto something you want to shoot. So with all these factors combined, it means that you're not shooting torpedoes as often, which means a lot of time you're flying blind in this course. But we finally made it through, and it's time to face the boss, and this one has always been one of my favorites. At the very beginning of the fight, you can shoot the 3 pods on top of its shell to get an extra hit plus 3 for each one. Once the pods are taken care of, you can shoot the tendons that hold the top of the shell to the bottom of the shell. Once you destroy both tendons, the top of the shell will separate from the bottom of the shell, and this will leave the eye completely exposed for the remainder of the fight. Then you shoot the eye with your blue lasers until you're able to lock on and shoot a torpedo at it. Slowly but surely, you'll deplete its health and you'll get your hit plus 10. Let's go. This might be my high score here, too. Three high scores in a row. 3 high scores in a row. Let's go. Let us go. We are going to go to Zonus. Next stop is Zonus, and I love this level because of the absolute plethora of bombs at your disposal. There are so many ways to collect bombs throughout this course, so don't be afraid of using them.
I can't believe they did this.
Watch out for the searchlight!
Let's take them all out!
One of the secret bombs you can collect in this level is if you fly underneath all of these oil towers.
You've got your father's instincts, Fox.
Some good they did him.
We're closing in on them, Falco. Take the right, boy. I have the left.
Cat, what are you doing here?
The total hit points needed on this level in order to obtain the medal is 250, but between all the searchlights and all of the bombs that you can use, that should be no problem.
Transport's ahead. Shoot those crates.
If you lose a wing and don't feel like starting the level over again, just follow Slippy here and he'll guide you towards a laser upgrade.
Enemy fighter spotted. They're going down. Cool your jets, Cat.
Don't worry,
Also, in order to get the mission accomplished and go on to Sector Z, you have to destroy all the searchlights without them spotting you. Oh wow, I already got the trophy? Holy crap. When I was a kid, I thought that they were trophies, not medals. I honestly didn't know that they were medals until this game came out. So if you hear me say trophy, I'm actually referring to the medal.
This guy,
Disrespectful little whelps.
a lot of bombs for you.
I'll teach you some respect.
When I watch people play this online, I don't understand why they rush through this, because I take my time and collect as many bombs as I can carry. After maxing out on bombs, then you can start dismantling this boss. Start with the smokestacks on top, and then you can take out one of his cannons. Then you'll have to take out the crane.
Drop the crane now. Shoot.
Before you take out the last cannon, make sure you time your shot just right so you can replenish your bomb in the process.
enough to be mine. Made it all the way through. That's one of my favorite levels. I like that.
And after defeating the boss and collecting 283 hit points, I had enough for my new high score and the medal.
4 for 4 on highest scores. 4 for 4 on highest scores. Let's go.
Next up is Sector Z, and some people find this more difficult to collect the medal on, but I find it rather simple if you follow these key strategies. First, I like to fly around the perimeter and shoot all the space junk, because each one is worth a hit +2 and will help you rack up your hit points really quickly. Next, you need to keep an eye on your allies' health, because if they leave the fight, then no matter what your hit point total is, you won't be eligible for the trophy. Some people prefer to just let them be chased here, because when they're being chased, they won't actively pursue the missiles. See, with 6 missiles and each being worth a hit +10, that's going to be the majority of your hit points. So if your allies are free to go after the missiles, they can steal those hit points from you. But see, the amount of health that your allies recover at the end of the stage is dependent on how many hit points you collect during the level. And other than Ficina, this is the lowest scoring level in the entire game, so they're not going to earn a lot of health back, and this could put you in a tight spot in the later stages of the game. So as long as you keep your allies safe and take out enough space junk, you should be collecting enough hit points that you really don't need all 6 missiles in order to get your total hit points necessary for the medal. And as you can see here, as I take out the first missile, I really only need to take out 4 of the remaining 5 missiles and collect their hit points in order to get enough hit points for the medal. However, sometimes competing with your allies to take out the missiles can be a little tricky. See, they're able to fly out of bounds and continue shooting at the missile while you're forced to do a U-turn. So sometimes, while you're in the middle of doing this forced U-turn, your allies will take out the missile and steal those hit points. And when the third wave of missiles comes in, it gets even more tricky because Cat joins the fight and actively pursues the missiles. But as you can see here, I really only needed to take out 1 of the remaining 3 missiles to have enough hit points for the medal. And here, Slippy shoots me in the process of trying to steal those hit points.
Shoot! I think I just got my high score on Sector Z too. That's 5 for 5. Holy crap.
And with mission accomplished and enough hit points to earn the medal, it's time to move on to the next stage. And I'm going to be taking the route to Bolse and through Venom I. So my strategy here at the beginning of Bolse is pretty simple. I'm going to take out the turrets protecting each energy tower and try to collect as many gold rings as possible. Because I know I'm going to want to start Venom 1 with 2 golden rings, that way I only need 1 to get my health upgrade.
I also would like to start Venom 1 with 2 golden rings if we can get that to happen. So while we're playing this level, we're going to try our best to collect rings.
Super cool.
I've also always preferred to go counterclockwise around the satellite. Even though it takes a little bit longer, that's okay because you don't get penalized for the time it takes to do this. And it's worth it to be a little bit more safe and not risk damaging a wing.
Oh, perfect. There is a ring. So now we're going to start the next level with 2 rings.
Once you take out the last energy tower, the satellite stops rotating, and the shield protecting the satellite core and all the enemies go away as well. This is where things get a little complicated, because now Starwolf enters the fight.
Game is over, StarFox.
So let's pause here just for a moment and talk about what just happened. So the reason why Starwolf is here is because of the route I took. If you go to Fachina, take out all 4 members of Starwolf, then disarm the bomb, then Starwolf will not appear for this fight. But if you go to Katina or Aquas instead, Starwolf will appear for this fight. Now it is entirely possible to get the medal here without Starwolf being present, and it actually might be better and easier for you to do it that way. You see, with Starwolf being present, it makes things really complicated. There just ends up being a lot going on. And ultimately you have to keep your allies alive in order to be eligible for the trophy anyways. Plus with Starwolf there's just more obstacles you could possibly run into and lose a wing and your laser upgrades, which is going to totally screw you over for Venom 1. So if your main objective is just to get the medal here and you're not worried about anything else, you're not worried about Venom 1 or any of the other levels that you're going to come across, then I would go to Fachina, take care of Starwolf there, that way you don't have to deal with them in Bolse. And the reason why I say that is because you definitely have enough hit points available to you without Starwolf being present to get the medal, and it's going to make things way easier. It's going to be so much easier to keep your allies alive. Now the reason why I went this route and triggered the Starwolf fight was because I wanted to go to Zonus and collect as many bombs as I could to prepare myself for Venom 1. You see, at the beginning of Venom 1, you're really going to need as many bombs as you can possibly carry, as well as 2 golden rings and full laser upgrades. But anyways, let's get back to the fight.
We just got to follow Slippy and like keep him from taking damage. We're going to try to take down Andrew first.
To me, it always feels like Slippy's in trouble, so I decided to go after Andrew first to try to keep Slippy safe. But that soon turned into just taking down whoever was in front of me at any given moment to try to protect my allies. Now thankfully Starwolf isn't very difficult to take down here. It's comparable to that of facing them on Fachina. They are much more difficult on Venom 2. What makes this fight so difficult is just how busy it is. There's a lot going on.
Dude, you're always in trouble, Slippy.
Between the regular enemies patrolling the perimeter, Starwolf, the satellite core, trying to keep your allies healthy, there's just a lot going on. And every time you take out a piece of the satellite core, it starts shooting lasers from those spots. So I would take my time taking out the satellite core and focus on just getting the hit points necessary for the trophy.
I'm still dealing with Starwolf.
Because the satellite core will add a lot to your score as well.
Is that it? Oh my gosh, I did it. Everybody survived. We got the trophy.
Each piece of the core is worth a hit plus 10, and there's 8 of them. So in reality, you can get 88 hit points from this. But if you take too long, they're going to be a hit plus 5 instead. And now with Bolse taken care of, we're on to our most difficult mission to earn a medal on in expert mode, Venom 1.
All right, Peppy's kind of damaged. We're going to hope that he can make it through.
Right off the bat, you're overwhelmed with a lot of enemies, so I use a couple of bombs here to take care of them. More than just for the hit points, but also to eliminate how much firepower is coming at you. You just simply can't barrel roll enough to protect yourself from all of the enemy firepower. This is also why we wanted to start the course with 2 golden rings, because at the beginning, there's a golden ring we can collect and upgrade our shields all the way.
Don't go dying on me!
That's the plan.
If you absolutely need the laser upgrade, go ahead and do a somersault and collect it. If you're at full strength, don't even risk it.
Anyone else to this place?
Eventually, you're going to be hit with a series of forks in the road where you have to decide to go left or right. In my opinion, the left route every single time is the easiest path, but there's slightly less enemies to deal with, and if you've used your bombs correctly up to this point, that shouldn't matter. Just collect as many hit points as you can and focus on staying healthy.
We're at 180. I don't know if this is enough.
Once you get out of the canyon, if you're at 180, you definitely have enough hit points to make it to the trophy. Just focus on staying clear of the obstacles.
This should be enough.
Those tin cans are no match for
Rob,
me.
secure the comms.
This boss can be an absolute nightmare to take down without losing a wing. But this is just classic Nintendo. They do a really good job of forcing you to utilize all the skills you should have learned throughout your journey to get through here unscathed. You need to constantly be going between left and right banks, boosting and braking, up and down, left and right, in order to avoid all the obstacles coming at you. And some of the spaces you need to squeeze through seem impossible.
Never give up. Trust your instinct.
Phew. Yes. Oh, yes. Man. All that's left is,
You guys clean up
Andross.
The boss will reward you with a hit plus 10, but unfortunately this version of Andross rewards you with no hit points. Now if you're only 10 hit points shy before facing Andross, you should be able to pick those up while going down the tunnel. This Andross fight starts just the same as the other. Take out the hands and then take out the eyes. Then he'll turn into this weird robot bat chomping thing. But if you have fully upgraded lasers, it really shouldn't be a problem.
There it is. So we got the trophy. That I don't think it was my high score on Venom. Maybe on Venom 1.
And just like that, we've earned all the medals in expert mode for the new StarFox.
Look at that. New high score on Venom 1. Grand total 1416. Definitely not anywhere near my top ever, but that's because I did take a less optimal route. I don't know why I call them trophies. I always thought that they were trophies when I was a kid. It looked like a trophy. But I guess they're medals. That's what they're calling them.
Fox? Everything okay?
I don't know, Peppy. I've got this funny feeling. Like it isn't over. Like maybe we played right into Andross's hands.
That's really cool. I like that ending. Yeah, that's so cool.
The fools think they've won.
That's awesome. We got all trophies, and what's really cool is that on every single planet, except for Bolse, I think, I got a new high score. And I still only got 1416.
What?
Alright folks, well that concludes our journey in collecting all the medals in expert mode in the new StarFox. If y'all could give me a like, a comment, a share, subscribe, all of that really does help support, and I really do appreciate everything that you do. Well, this is Lamborghini, we'll see you on the next one.